Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I want to talk about, let's see, UFOs being shot down, trains getting derailed, transformer substations being attacked. So all this stuff is happening, right? We had a Chinese weather balloon. We had 3 UFOs shot down. We shot down one for Canada because they couldn't fly a plane far enough north, apparently, to get it done. We shot down a hobbyist balloon, which is great. We've got train derailments, right? We have East Palestine, you follow that?
Yeah.
Palestine. And so we got this big chemical spill. And then as that one was hitting the news, we had 2 train derailments in one day. One was a pickup truck ran into the train in 2 different states. And then we got these transformer substations being attacked. And so you get like, one was attacked. I don't know if they ever, the one in the south that was attacked a little while ago, I don't know if they ever found who did that. But for the one that happened, I believe it was in Nevada near Vegas. Yeah, it was near Vegas. And then it was like, they have a picture of like a Muslim guy and he says, I'm doing this for, Allah or whatever, the future of his children. But my point in like looking at all these things is, do you trust anything that's being reported on from the media?
Of course not.
Right. So what I'm saying is we could be at war right now with China. And you just got that fake thing about that. It was a fake Photoshop of the Muslim dude. It was actually a Chinese dude. How do you not know?
Okay.
And they say, oh, the pickup truck ran into that. What if it was a pickup truck mounted with a machine gun that was Chinese? Like, you wouldn't know. What if they were revolutionaries? What if these were all done by militias? You wouldn't know.
Interesting.
It could be anything. This could be full on civil war. Like there could be Antifa fighting against, or it could be like black nationalists. You don't know. And so just my point here is that if something were to happen in the future, it could be a civil war, could be a revolution, could be attacks from a foreign. How would you ever know?
Yeah, unless you were there, you wouldn't.
You literally wouldn't. And even if you were there, like I was thinking about like, hey, I could make a good movie script like this,
Yeah.
And the main character walks out on the road, and all of a sudden there's some people, and they're like running down the road, and all of a sudden a bunch of cops show up and there's this huge shootout and there's automatic weapons and the guy runs in and then he looks on the news later and says, yeah, there were 4 bank robbers dressed in full tactical gear and they were battling with the police. And he's like, wow, those bank robbers are getting highly, highly sophisticated. But it's not. Because it was a revolutionary activity where they were planning a bomb in a federal building, and it just you even seen it on the street, and you're like, bank robbers. I mean, it happened in LA that one time. You remember the heavily armored guy? And it was a whole thing. Like, could be, But these people were either Civil War people or revolutionaries. You just wouldn't know.
Interesting.
It would have to be through, physically seen, and then communicating with people who have physically seen. But you would have to know that person. Because it can't just be a person who say they saw on Quora or I don't know where, Reddit, whatever people talk on. I don't know. But like, because it just could be a federal agent saying, oh no, the bank robbers, they're just bank robbers. Don't join the bank robbers,
Right.
It's just interesting for me to think about when all of this stuff is going on.
Yeah, it's an incredible amount of weird things happening at the same time.
Right.
And that isn't connected somehow. Like I see these stories and my immediate thought is the government because they're the worst.
Right.
That they're doing this
for
some, I don't know what the purpose is, but.
Right.
But yeah, it's an interesting thought that it could be other.
Yeah, and it could even be one thing and they blame another thing. Like it could be like a black nationalist uprising of millions of black people and all these different activities are going on. And the government tells you, you know what? It's militias because Trump is bad. And guns are bad. It's militias doing this, white supremacist militias. And you're looking at the news and like, you don't really know.
Right. You have
they could just, I heard, how they do this thing where like a crime happens and if a white person does the crime, they show the picture.
Yeah.
And if they don't show the picture, you just know it's a black person.
Yeah.
I heard that in Sweden, they literally changed the skin tone of all criminals to white on any like videos or photographic evidence.
Really?
They change them because they're pretty racist.
Gotcha.
And they don't want their population to think that they had brought in people who were then committing crimes.
Gotcha.
Because they couldn't probably handle it. I don't really know.
Well, skin tone is the only thing that differentiates how certain people look. I mean, you can't tell if you put their skin white that they're still a black guy, right?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, this is just a stupid video we're making, you know?
Gotcha.
Basically.
A thought exercise.
A thought exercise. Because you can run the point. You know what I'm going for.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we're taking, or you've taken the critical thought that we're trying to do all the time on this channel and just taking it to another level of not only can we not trust it, but what is the answer? And when it's something that's happening, like we're in the middle of it, it's like something you can go research how you can a lot of things and try to get to the truth. You should have no idea. And so you just start throwing out ideas and just.
Right. When the entire corporate media is the propaganda arm of the government,
right,
all you're getting is propaganda. So you go to Newsweek, New York Times, CNN, Fox, you know, it doesn't matter because
right.
you're just getting fed propaganda.
Right.
And we're coming into the era of deepfakes now.
Yeah.
So the situation's just going to get worse.
Right.
You know, they could have video evidence of a militia doing this, and then they could just deepfake it all as black people and say it's black nationalists. And you literally wouldn't know. Soon, you won't be able to know.
Right.
And they'll just have immense power at that point. Not that they don't now.
Right, totally.
But it's just going to grow exponentially.
But the only thing that we have on our side is that they've already taught us not to trust them.
Okay.
So as the deep fakes and all that come out, they've already taught us to discard what they're saying, and we just have to discard the images and everything.
Right.
And
I would add to that, like, our whole movement here, we're trying to get people to withdraw consent. And it's like I was just saying, as time goes by, with the technology increasing, their power is going to grow exponentially. And we had talked in a previous video, are you going to do something, or are you just going to leave it for your kids or grandkids to do? It's going to be a harder fight for them, we said in the video, but it's going to be a harder fight for you to stand up in 5 years from now than it is now.
Right.
In 10 years, the impossibility factor is going to be through the roof. So what I'm saying is, if you have a break from sports ball because the season just ended, and you have a little time and effort to put towards maybe doing something positive for future generations, we encourage you to join us and withdraw consent, or join somebody else who's also doing the good work, we'll say.
just, focus on something that actually matters.
Right.
And not just sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, agreed.
All the time. We hope you enjoyed this. Just a different look at what could be happening. We have no idea, just like you have no idea. But just something to think about. If you have any ideas of your own that we didn't hit, please leave them in the comments. We'd love to see them. We'll see you next time.